Hello everyone, I'm Tom Palmer Custom Daisy Rifles in Mulder, Oklahoma. This is Sunday, August the 31st, 2025. I've had a few requests to ask about my tool I use for my spring compressor and how I clean the shot tube. So first one we're going to look at is the tool. This is a tool that I use, and this right here is the most common rods that I use. That there needs to go down in there, but anyway, and then when we're down in there, there's that's the tool that I use. And anyway, on this part here, you can use a piece of wood, a piece of plastic, a piece of metal, whatever you want to use. Just make sure it's big enough to protect you if something happens when you're going to remove the spring. When you have it in here, if it slips off or something, that your hand don't hit these pieces right here, because they are sharp and they'll cut you open. I know I didn't learn the first time. I had it happen a second time, but fortunately I hadn't had it happen no more. But anyway, and if you can't, well, lay a rag or something over it, something to give you a little protection so you don't hurt yourself, because it's pretty ugly. But anyway, but this is what I use to do about all mine. Now I do change the rods for some of the narrow frames and the Model 21s and stuff. I use these rods, which are narrow. And right here, I want to show you the specs that I got. Okay, this 5/32. Those rods, that's the big one, is 7 5/8 long, and that can vary a little bit. Just make them to your liking. And I used welding rod is what I got, and just strip the flux off of it. And then those skinny long ones, I made them 12 inches long, and that's a little long. I had never cut mine off, but they need to be cut off to about probably around 8 inches. But anyway, the 12 works, so that's the reason I keep using it. I hadn't done it. And those are 1/8 inch. And you need something pretty stout, probably 1/8 inch welding rod. And that works for that. And then the hole center down here in your tool right here, that's 5/8 of an inch from center to center of those holes. And of course, I got my holes drilled out big to the 5/32, and I changed the rods. You can build two different tools and fix them where they don't fall out on you, but on mine, I just pull them out. One of them just fits real loose. This other one, it'll come out, but then when you put these in here, they are a little wobbly, but you can work with it. What I do with these, I usually just stick them down on the spring and find my spring and get on it. Then I come up here and I put my tool on top of it and then compress it. And so, but be careful when you do that, because if things go awry, you will get yourself hurt. And some of those springs are really tough in those older guns. Not so much in the 1938Bs, but in the older ones. But I'll give you one more look at those specifications, and you can okay, there you go on that. Then I have people ask me about cleaning the shot tubes, and this right here is what I use. You can actually buy these. I've seen them online, but I forget the company that makes them, but I just made these. This is some square, I don't know if you can tell it or not, yeah, maybe. But anyway, a square weed eater string. And this one's only about 1/2 inch from the end, but because you want it to go down in there as far as you can and clean it. And I usually cock the gun to pull the air tube out of the way, and that way, well, this thing will go down in there till it touches the air tube, and so you get most of the shot tube cleaned. And these cleaning patches that I'm using here, they call them 22 caliber, but they work good in the 17. But now there's a different kind these, I don't know what you really call these, but they're a different kind of material. And those things they're really tight to shove in and out. They work good, but they're just a lot tighter than these right here. And just poke it down in the shot tube till, let me grab one right quick. If I got one here somewhere. Okay. And just take this of a 1938B and just take it, shove it down in there. Of course, your shot tube's gonna be down here sticking up in there, and just run it down in there. When you get down there, it'll stop. It's in the gun right there. And then just pull it back out, and you get the gunk out of it. And then you can take these patches. What I do, I just take them for a couple of, you can use them several times. You just turn it around, stick it in there, run her back through there again. Okay, pull her out, and there you go. And it's pretty simple. And this piece here, I don't know how long it is. It's plenty long for everything I've done. Looks like it's about 24 inches long. So it's about a 24-inch piece. So anyway, and but anyway, that's what I use to clean them with. And I usually do it dry. You know what I mean? If you put something on it, you want to make sure before you're finished that you do dry it. Because anything that sticks to that BB when it comes out, it'll make her go haywire. That's the reason it's important to clean them. You know, I seen a video a few years ago about somebody said that you didn't ever need to clean them because there was no lead, it was just air, you know. But they have oil in them, and it builds up, and it definitely affects the accuracy. It's a proven fact. I've proved it several times. But anyway, that's just a little tidbit to maybe help someone if they want to make their own tools, and it's not expensive, and that'll get you started and get those tools made and start moving those spring and plunger assemblies. I mean, you got different kinds. This is a 499B without the they don't have air tubes, but it's a 1938B spring. But here's like in a 1938B. But what you're trying to do on these, you're trying to get right in between there. See that brad and that piece there? You're trying to get right in between that to get on that spring. And when it's in the gun, sometimes you can tilt it back a little bit. It'll go down there and it'll get a better bite. Because all you got to do is just mash it down enough to get the spring anchor out. And sometimes those spring anchors are stuck, and they can be a little troublesome to get out, but you can do it. But the more you do it, the easier it gets, basically. So anyway, I hope that helps someone, and if it does, well, I'm just glad it does. Thank you for watching.